So, good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by Alexander C, and he's the lead singer for the band God and Punks, which is a stoner rock progressive band from Brazil. So, Alexander is the singer, and we're here to talk about, the band's fifth album, Death, which is coming out July 27th. So, Alexander, how are you?
I'm good, and you, Hector?
I'm doing good. So yes, I remember when I got this promo. First of all, I like the name Gods and Punks. It's
Yeah.
like it's an interesting name. But when I first saw the name, I thought, I don't know why, I thought you would maybe be like a punk hardcore.
Yeah, yeah. Lots of people think that, yeah. Yeah. After actually today, if I were to name the band, I wouldn't name that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because when I named the band, it was me and my brother, who is our guitar player, rhythm guitar and bass. Right now, he played bass in the last album because we were currently not with a fixed bassist. But when we named the band, we were listening a lot to at the time it was a new Monster Magnet album, which is Monster Magnet is one of my favorite bands.
Oh, I remember Monster Magnet. Yeah.
Yeah, and at the time they had released a new album, which was Mastermind, and it had a new single, and the single was Gods and Punks, and I was listening to that single all the time. I didn't stop listening to it, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna name the band the Gods and Punks. But yeah, that happens. Everybody thinks we play punk now.
Yeah, no, and you listen to
Yeah,
it and like I'm like, no, but actually there's a song, Decerebration, which is one of the singles.
yeah,
It's got more of a punkier sludge vibe to it, because
yeah.
it
Because yeah, it gets a bit faster. Like from half to the end, it gets a little bit faster. So yeah, we can. There's a bit more. Actually, our biggest influence in that song is certainly Black Sabbath. But I can see where we you can. If someone hears only that part, maybe they can think that we are a punk rock band. Yeah,
no, but there's a lot of Black Sabbath
yeah,
influence
yeah,
in your music. And the
yeah,
other single that you have is our Archimedes Crew. That's a
yeah,
longer one. That
yeah,
really has that stoner vibe, to
yeah,
a
yeah.
T, which is
Yeah,
really interesting.
yeah. Today, if I were to pick one, my favorite song off the album, it would probably be Archimedes Crew. But yeah, it was because it was actually the last song that we wrote for the album, so it's a bit fresher to me. Because when you stay too long with the songs, sometimes you release the album and you're already like, okay, I listened to the song like 1,000 times. So but actually this album, it has some really fresh songs, like at least three of these songs, they were made in the last moment. So it was something that we can it's still fresh even for the band.
So did you were you in the studio and you just started riffing and came out with some of the
Yeah.
last songs?
Yeah, so we actually had a different uh list of songs for the album.
Hmm.
And before we were already recording a few songs. We actually divided into three recording sessions, and we recorded. Actually, it was the our guitar player Rodrigo and the drummer Gabriel. They had recorded three songs already, and I was listening to the demos that we have over and over, and like trying to listen to them in the order that the album would be. And I was feeling like, yeah, this is a great album, but it needs more. It needs heavier and slower songs. That's what I was thinking, because it's too distant from what we were doing in the past. So I actually, what I did is like isolated those the songs that I thought were like further away from our sound,
Hmm.
And then I said, okay, these songs are like plan B. Let's try to make songs that, you know, sound more like our old stuff. So like in one day, I just said I sat down and I was like, okay, I'm gonna write two heavy songs right now. So I wrote one of them, and then like I don't know, 2 hours later I sat down again and I wrote another. And
Wow.
the first one was the Night of a Thousand Days, but it changed a lot. That first version that I made wasn't like too polished. It wasn't. It didn't have a lot of detail. It was a bit like a skeleton of the song.
Mhm.
But Archimedes Crew, when I made it, it was basically the finished version. We barely changed it at all.
Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes when you do it, when you do a song like a Give Me Screw that just comes out great from the first and you don't have to touch it? Do you think do you like that when you put a song, you're like, yeah, we don't need to do anything else to it. Let's just leave it as it is.
Yeah, it's funny because sometimes we make songs like for example, in the old albums, most of the songs were made by jam sessions. They were like we were playing and then somebody came up with a riff or somebody came up with a bass line and then it just became a song through the jam. And then we like after the jam was ready, we took the best parts and we structured it and made a song. But this time, since we're far away from each other, like I'm in Paris, Pedro is in Santos, Rodrigo and Gabriel are in Rio. So we
Hmm.
can't jam. So it's more like somebody gotta present an idea with a certain structure. You know, it can't be like a small thing that because whenever someone just presents a riff, like what happens a lot of times is like I start working on the riff, and in parallel, like Rodrigo starts working on the riff, and we get completely different ideas, and they don't match. And then we gotta like fight, like what's the best version. So what happened now is like most of these songs, I came up with the idea. A few of them, one of them was Rodrigo. He basically made the whole song, which is the space between spaces,
Yeah,
and
it's a good one. Yeah.
yeah, and Pedro he made most of Loss of Reality. The rest of these songs were basically me. I was just like, and the funny part is I barely play guitar. I play guitar a bit, like I can try to play a bit, but I'm not too good at it. So
I
when I
can't
present,
play at all, man. So
like when I present these ideas, they have to like they have to imagine how it would sound if I played well. You know.
so do you go to them and you do like, I want you to play this part? And you do like
Yeah,
noises?
sometimes I do that. Sometimes I do that. I mean, um, the first song, uh, Slow Burner,
Mm,
I couldn't really play it. I was like, I can't play this. I tried a million times and I can't play it. But I have this idea, and the only way that I can show you is if I sing the guitar parts. So I just said like, okay, now after the second chorus, you're gonna do this. Like I try to sing it, and then they did it, and it's a bit challenging because sometimes like even if I have the idea in my mind, uh, I won't be able to like translate it into a singing part. You know, it's not
mm,
perfect. So I have this need to learn guitar a bit more. You know.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can tell them like exactly like, yeah, this is the sound
Yeah.
I have in mind and not do like noises. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, like your last album, it was the Sounds of the Universe in
Yes.
2021. So how much you think that the evolution from this one to your current, the newer album, Death, like how much have you evolved in sound? I know this is the band's fifth album, and I was
Yeah.
listening to your old stuff, and you have like stuff that is like sludgier and harder. And this
Yeah.
album, I would say, is more like a psychedelic trippy. That's how it
Hmm.
was.
Yeah. What I think is like all of these songs, all of these albums, the old ones, since they were made like in a jam sessions, and they were a bit more like 6 months of jam sessions, we recorded an album, and then 6 months of another jam session. We did it really fast, you know. They were like really fresh, you know, and they reflected what we were listening to at the time. So if I were like to label the albums, I would say Dunes of Doom is a bit more desert rock. Uh, then our second album, Ceremony of Damnation, is a bit more doomier. Our third album, In the
In the
Celestial
Celestial.
Ascension, is a bit more space rock, a bit more proggy. Like the songs are longer and it's more complex. And then in our fourth album, since we were the fourth album, the Sounds of the Universe, we took the songs, 5 songs from our debut EP from 2016, and we reworked them and changed them. So they were simpler songs than what we did before. They were like a bit more straight to the point, and they were more Monster Magnet influenced. So
Okay.
so the new songs that we made with these songs had to be similar to them. So I would say this last album there, it's a bit more Monster Magnet inspired, a bit more space rock, a bit more less heavy maybe. And then
Or
this one,
psychedelic, yeah.
yeah, this new record, the Death, I we I most of the album was written by me, and I didn't really have a north. Like I didn't really have like I want this album to sound like this. I just started writing songs, and that's what happened. And then the songs that were written by me, um, like if you can actually separate the album into 3 parts,
Mhm.
and I think these 3 parts sound different, like in terms of style. Um, and you like when they presented me the songs, I was like, okay, this song kind of sounds like this part of the album, this song's kind of like sounds like this part, so I rearranged them according to the songs that were similar to them, you know.
So it was basically like a jam, but you jammed in different areas.
Yeah. Yeah, actually it was a very slow jam because
Slow.
I had to present them an idea, and then somebody would re-record the idea and add a new part, and then somebody would, it was a much slower process, and it took a lot of patience actually.
Yeah. So let's look at the artwork for the album.
Sure.
So this is the artwork for the album Death. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You have Death there, and I like it. This is really old school. You have on the top the name of the song, side A and side B. So it's
Yeah.
very, even the name, how you put the logo, it looks very 70s.
Yeah.
Was that a
Yeah.
conscious decision?
Yeah, actually, um the same person that made our last album cover, which is Bruno Cross,
Mhm.
he made this one, but I told him I want something completely different. I want another type of art. I don't want like that he had like a digital art style. I want something more vintage, more old school. And I said, and he was like, okay, bring me some inspirations that you have, some ideas like for me to base myself in those. And then I presented him with a lot of ideas, but one album that I was like looking at a lot at the time was Russia's Counterparts.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, I don't know what you can do. The name of the album is Death, but I want these colors. I want these colors on the album. And so he's like, okay, I'm gonna base myself on those colors. I'm not gonna use the same colors because I think that since nowadays it's more digital and things gotta look good on the screen, it's not gonna be exactly the same tone. But yeah, the blue and the yellow, it came from Russia's Counterparts. The idea was his, and for the card and stuff. And the style, I presented him with some inspirations, mostly of stoner albums and stuff, like Electric Wizard, and other things like that.
Okay, yeah, no, it's a cool album artwork. It's really
Yeah.
more simple and old school and the vintage. Uh, like the title for the record, Death. Why that? Why did you name it Death? What like for this record?
Sure. It was because this album is about my near-death experience that I had in 2001, and since then I wanted to write something about it. I wanted to like make at least a song or an album if possible about it. And so what I when we discussed having, actually it was funny because the name of the album was Death, and
Mhm.
it was because I just wanted one word for the album. I wanted it to be one word because our other album titles are really long. So I wanted to have a contrast and be one word. And and then when he had the idea for the card, he told me that it was cool because the card, the death card, doesn't represent like death. It's kind of double meaning, you know. It's
Mhm.
death, but it represents the end of one cycle and the beginning of another cycle. So, and since the band was changing a lot, we changed lineup. We stopped playing for like 3 years. So when we came back, we had to see if the guys wanted to come back, and some of them were busy with other stuff. So we switched members and stuff. So we were like, okay, this is a good meaning because it is the beginning of a new cycle after that, those other four
Yeah.
albums.
And
And
that
this is the
near
first,
death experience was it? You said 2021 or 2001?
yeah, 2021.
Okay, yeah, because yeah, I'm like
Yeah,
I read it 2021. So
yeah. It was like a few months after I released the other album.
okay.
but yeah, and the funny part is since our last albums they were telling one story along the four albums that we with the lyrics. This is the first album that we didn't have to like ar- adapt the songs, think about the story, and try to, it was something more free a bit. I know I had to tell the story of the near death experience, but it was really strange for me, like not having to worry about the theme of the songs, having to write the story that I was writing before, because those other four albums, they tell a story, one story that begins with Into the Dunes of Doom and ends with the Sounds of the Universe. And you have to rearrange the songs in each album cover. We give the number that you can rearrange the songs to listen to them. We actually made a playlist on our Spotify for to listen to the songs in the story order. And yeah, and then in the end it was cool, but in the end we were really tired. We were really tired of writing about the same story. So
So this is like a fresh start for the band.
yeah, yeah. So it was really refreshing to like not have to worry about that anymore.
So in other words, this is your most personal record since
Yeah,
you're talking
by
about
far.
a personal death experience and
Yeah.
you know like I don't if I may ask what was almost because it doesn't say like what were you doing that you almost had that near death
Yeah.
experience
So yeah, I don't want to get too much detail because I want the people to find out listening to the
the
songs. But
record.
it was I had a medical emergency,
Mhm.
which I had to go to surgery immediately. They didn't even wait for me to be able to like wait for the doctor and like get myself in a surgery room. I had to have a surgery in the waiting room of the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I stayed in a few days in like induced coma, and I had to, after the surgery I have to like stay 1 month in the hospital being monitored, and I had to do other three surgeries, and then I was free. So it was really close actually. It was something like, and when I got out of that, I
Mm.
was a bit I don't know, it's like kind of PTSD, like a post-traumatic stress
Yeah.
disorder. I was a bit strange at times, and I sometimes I just started thinking about this stuff, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. I was like, I can't stop thinking about that day that happened, all the things happened, and then I was like, okay, maybe I can write a few songs about this and try to get it out and stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And it actually worked. Actually, it was this album was a nice like a psychology session, for
Like
me.
a cathartic experience, getting that out.
Yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
guessing, well, having like a near-death experience, does it make you appreciate life more?
yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes, for example, since I moved here to Paris. It's much closer for me to travel around Europe and stuff. And sometimes I'm just like, for example, first time I go to, I don't know, Rome, I go and say, I, I can't believe I'm here, because if one little thing had gone wrong in 2021, I wasn't gonna be here. I wouldn't be able to look at this. So, yeah, I think about this all the time. Like, for example, uh, go to a concert from a band that I really like, and then I was like, whoa, if I had died in 2021, I wouldn't be able to watch this. I think about this all the time,
Which band, man?
all the time. Actually, all the bands that I see that I was like uh waiting to see, and I'm able to see them now that I live here. I always think that, for example, I saw Sun a
Ooh.
while back. It was a really one of the strangest and most special concerts I've ever been to. And I was like, whoa, they never went to South America. So I'm only seeing them now. And I'm only seeing them because I got through that chapter of my life. And other songs. I remember I went to, like, one of the last concerts I went to was a Megadeth concert. And
I've
and they're my favorite thrash metal band. And and at one point before they played like a song from their last album, Dave Mustaine said, this song is about me going through, because he had a cancer, right? He had a cancer a while back. My cancer and me cancer treatment and stuff like that. So every time I play this song, it's very special to me, because when I made that song, I didn't know if I was gonna be able to play it live, and I was like, whoa, and I started thinking the same thing immediately. I was like, whoa, and I never imagined that. How can I be here? What's the chance of me being here and you being here right now? And I'm listening to this song. It's like both of us went really close to death. A while back. So yeah, I was thinking about this now.
Did you ever think of naming the album Rebirth?
Yeah, yeah, actually, yeah. But I wanted to like I wanted to make something that, for example, it kind of reflects the feeling that you get when you talk about this stuff. It's like it seems negative, but it's not negative. Like it
No.
seems like, for example, death. The card is perfect for the feeling that I had writing this, because when you look at the album cover, you think death. That's really bad and stuff. But if you research the meaning of that card in the tarot, uh, the tarot things,
The tarot card, yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's actually about like a new cycle. So that's what I want. I want like that double meaning. If you don't research, you think it's negative, but if you research, you'll see it's actually positive. Like what I did, like when I got out from the surgery and stuff, I was a bit like quiet, and I was a bit, how can I say, I was thinking about like more negative stuff, like, wow, like that was close and stuff. Like I was kind of traumatized. And then with time I started looking, oh, but actually it's a good thing. I mean, that happened. It was bad that happened, but overall it's a very good experience, because I didn't die.
No,
So yeah. Yeah.
So it's a good thing, yeah, because you got to write this cool album, and now you're living in Paris and
Yeah.
living life to the fullest, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great. And and it was really great. I mean, this album that we wrote, uh I'm really proud of it, because not only because it's more personal than our other albums, but because I think it generally sounds really good. I mean, and one thing I really pay attention to in albums is like I like to like hit play and listen to the whole thing until the end. And I love the way that this album structures itself from the beginning to the end. I think uh, it's a very nice flow of songs, and I love it. I'm really proud of it, actually. Yeah,
Yeah, good. No, it's a really cool record,
yeah,
and getting to know the backstory of what created the record makes it more interesting to me now.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so, Alexander, I know the album is out on the 27th of July. Uh,
Hmm.
what can the fans from Gods and Punks expect once the album is out? Are you gonna play some shows? What's next for the band?
So, actually, what's happening is we haven't played a show since 2019, since the pandemic
A
started.
long time, yeah.
Yeah, a long time, and we never played a show with this new lineup. We were going to play one show in São Paulo, but it didn't work out. And now we still haven't played one single show with this new lineup. We already released an EP with this new lineup. We're gonna release this new album, and we haven't played a single show. So that's something that we want to do, and we have plans right now of an Euro tour for next year. Playing I don't know, maybe 10 dates in Europe. Um, and I let's see how it goes. I hope it goes well. I hope it works. And if everything works, maybe in the first semester we'll be doing a Euro tour next year.
Awesome, man. I'll put the links for the people who want to pre-order the record. Are you gonna have it on vinyl and
Yes. Yeah, it's out on vinyl. There's three editions. There's a standard edition, which is black vinyl. There's a limited colored edition, which is really beautiful, like a color splash vinyl, which looks great. And there's this really limited edition, which is like a special package, which comes with a sticker. It's a color vinyl, but it also comes with a sticker, and it comes with an insert. It comes with a patch. So it's a really special edition, and it will be physically. It will only be out in vinyl. It won't be out in CD or tape right now. And digital will be out everywhere. It will be out in every streaming service and Bandcamp.
awesome. So, Alexander, I want to thank you, for taking some time of your afternoon to chat with me about Gods and Punks, the album Death. Very personal record and a new beginning for the band.
Yeah.
So yeah, anything you like to say to the fans before we go today?
Yeah, just listen to our new singles, Decerebration and Archimedes Crew. They're out on streaming right now. They're on YouTube, and I hope you like them. If you like them, see if you want to pre-order the album and listen to it when it comes out. I hope you guys like the album. Yeah.
Awesome. So you heard it here, Couchers, the new album by Gods and Punks out the 27th. So until next time, people, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.